Well, let me welcome you to our Abuja studio this beautiful morning in the federal capital. Cloudy a little bit, not quite cold, but a little cool. But we're going to warm things up. I can tell you just that. This morning, let's first thank our colleagues in Enugu who have held the fort all this while and joining us. And let me also thank you for keeping faith and remaining with us this beautiful morning. As always, my name is Mwabueze Njoka and this is Signature Morning. Today, we are going to ask a very important question. The PDP crisis, does it not have a solution? It's getting prolonged, looking at something that cannot be resolved. Is the PDP in the throes of death? If it cannot resolve its crisis up to now, in what health will it be to contest the 2027 elections? And I think I have somebody in the studio this morning who is thoroughly qualified to tell us whether the PDP is heading to the morgue or whether it has a chance of survival. And my guest this morning is Otunba Segun Showunmi. He's a strong PDP strategist and the alternative convener. Otunba, welcome to the program.
Leader, it's nice to be here.
It's a pleasure.
I like your studio.
Let me
like
ask you a question.
The feel is good. What's
the
up?
Convener, the alternative convener. What are you convening?
God bless you for this question. No, you're a veteran. Now, those of us who are younger than the men who did 1992 June 12, we remember that the entire process that even led to the June 12 and the democracy and all that stems from an idea that the late Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, Shehu Musa Yar'Adua, beg your pardon, the senior brother general, conceived that, having seen what had happened with the First Republic and the Second, that there was a need for us to build a pan-Nigerian platform where Nigerians then who were younger than us, like the Matiku, Bola Tinubu, all of those names, would come together and begin to do a handshake across the Niger and across the Benue. And of course, we were not part of that. We were too young, but we were not so young that we couldn't see what was going on. We watched as the players in that game, the vast majority of them, became so inconsistent to the idea of building to last by a few of them. It's okay for some people to be in SDP, whatever party they called it, a little to the left, and some people to be a little to the right. That was the driving philosophy for people like me. And at the time this democracy started, never mind that we are progressives too, I didn't really fancy the idea that the AD, because of the experience of the Yoruba people with June 12, will likely become a Yoruba party of some sort, at least basically in the southwest. They needed to recover from their hurt. So those of us who stood with the PDP have been there since get-go. Now, in the build-up to 2023, I convinced myself that the experiment of Yar'Adua was going to come full circle. Why? Because I saw Atiku pushing to be candidate of PDP, which I worked very, very hard, with due respect to all of them, including begging late Raymond Dokpesi to take that responsibility for running before they got to primaries. And I saw Ashadwa Lamed Tinubu trying to be the candidate of the SDP, of the now APC. So in my mind's eye, I said, oh, the Yar'Adua experiment is coming full circle. At least one of them from that original thinking of pan-Nigerian political party that is not tribal, is not ethnic, is going to lead, is going to likely win. Guess what I did? I went to each of them separately. Yes, I went to the president now. I said, sir, is this the democracy we fought for? That some of us as young as we were did all we did for? That has become like this. You don't have stable parties. Parties don't obey their own constitutions. And I said to him, I said, I concede that the PDP suffered from the habits they picked up from the first man who took the presidency, which is Obasanjo, and leaders are copied. I consider that is what is responsible for this my way or the highway attitude of their big boys. But you, how did you make it happen now that people in your party too seem to have copied the same, some habit from Buhari? Now, what are you guys going to do? And I said, anyway, I know that if both of you win your primaries, one of you will win. Will you collaborate to build us a sustainable democratic culture? He answered, and I understood what he said, and then went back to Atiku and laid exactly the same concerns on his table. I said to Atiku Abubakar, I said, sir, I concede that you understand the directive principle of how this country evolved from Tafawa Balewa then, who gave you people free and qualitative education and made the North the envy of the country. Look at what has become of it. If you succeed, please, nothing can be built without sustainable political parties, because the political parties are the first safeguards of a democracy. Once the political parties are not running according to whatever they call their ideology and don't understand the directive principle of stability and consistency, you will not even be able to do development. But what you will have is that every man who comes in charge of the country starts to run it according to his own whims and caprice. Lo and behold, everything was done. Of course, I supported Atiku fully and totally. He didn't win. Bola Tinubu won. I now looked at them, watching the way the democracy is doing, watching the PDP, watching the space, watching the excessive tribalization of conversation in the country, seeing the risk that this tribalization will eventually return us back to where we used to be, that the stories we have not even fully healed. And then to know it's time to begin to stimulate the next generation of people who will now begin to ask, how do we do it better? First as an individual, then as a family, then as a community, then as a party, and whatever they like. And I couldn't call it the better, because that would seem a tad arrogant. So I said, okay, let's call it the alternative. And to God be the glory, I've been working very, very hard, just trying to stimulate them. I've not given them any, do it this way or do it that way, it must be this party or that party. Those are their personal desires. I have always said, the ruling party, the APC, I guarantee you, if they don't fix what I'm saying they should fix, they will implode. The PDP have been banging the table since 2011. I was the Director General of the Jonathan Sambo election in Ogun State in 2011. We won that presidential election for Ogun. They lost all the other. The Meji lost, Yabo lost, every governor lost. But under my watch, we won. But I saw for the first time the challenge of that party, and I've been screaming. When we lost the election in 2015, to the sense of the men that were in charge then, they called a sort of arrangement to say, let us review. After they did the review, then they did a final communique sort of thing. And I was thankfully asked to speak on behalf of younger people. They didn't give me the script of what to say. I got up and I said, it is not expected that one party will be winning all the time in a democracy. You don't need to feel so sorry that we lost, or PDP lost after 16 years. That's how democracy deepens. What we must do is spend the time they will be spending in government to reform our party. And I warned them, you cannot reform the PDP with the consciousness with which you destroyed it. That was 10 years ago. So whatever it is you see me do with the alternative is my own human effort at making sure that after these archaic laws pack themselves and go, the next line behind them will be a little bit more reasonable, responsible, and ideal.
We don't know when they pack their
They
luggage.
will, sure they will.
But when fruit
time
happens,
and seasons happen to all.
Very correct.
Where are their senior brothers? All gone. Some of their colleagues are already going. They themselves don't even have the hell to go.
Yeah, but let me ask you, because that's an issue I want you to educate me on.
Okay, tell me.
in the first instance, is PDP by conception and being born into Nigeria's political space, was it a political party or was it a special purpose vehicle brought in by the military to hand over power to some group?
You have touched another nerve. Sometimes in 1995, 94, 95, as I sat, Providence made me sit in a restaurant in Dusseldorf, Germany. I think it's the Hilton. And I had asked one question to some leaders. That, sirs, they are all Europeans. Sir, why is it that Abiola is sitting in jail in our country, and all the stories we hear about him, he can travel without passport, he can write money on paper, bank will respect it. Why is everything in our country like this? I guarantee you that was what opened the door for me to be able to find access to get world leaders. I'm not talking about the clowns they go and take pictures with, to begin to be interested in the Nigerian question. Because when that question produced access, that access produced me being asked to nominate, okay, who is that Nigerian? Since Abiola is in jail, and who is that Nigerian that they should access? I couldn't detect that decision. I thought, Wale Soyinka, I couldn't find him. And lo and behold, I called Dele Momodu, is alive, you can ask him. And Dele Momodu said, under the circumstance, the only person that we can say can be reasonably expected is Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He's alive, he's not the president. That was how it started. That process worked on so well. One day, I said to the late President Moko, may you be blessed. I said, sir, I'm doing so much. Are you not going to do me something that will make them, I'm a younger boy then, I'm just 50 something now. I said, can you not give me something that I will use to show them that these things I'm doing has serious, powerful backers? He smiled, said, okay, you'll get back to me in a few days. After a while, he sent somebody to me. He said, okay, Anthony, that's my English. Tell them I am going to get the German Football Federation to invite your Super Eagles for a friendly match in Frankfurt, and they will get out of the FIFA ban. I will pay a cost, but I will do it for you. So if you announce it before I invite them, they will know it didn't come from anywhere. But that was how the Nigerian nation got out of the FIFA ban that was occasioned as a result of not participating in the World Cup in South Africa. God Almighty and me, knowing what to ask leaders, never asking them for anything for me. That thing crescendo, they started to walk. At a point, they now said, your nation is very difficult to handle from the inside. Your political leaders are not really fully ready. We need somebody that has the capability and the ability to manage the country and manage the military and manage the democracy. By God and the one in the heaven. I turned and I said, in that case, Olusegun Aremu Obasanjo. Now, fast forward to the question now.
Yes.
Those who were already doing their plan for presidency, the Matiku and all of them, your brother, or Blessed Memory, Alex Ekweme and co., they were already planning their thing, looking at whoever they were looking at. But the force that there are deep state interventions in state. Countries are not left on their own like that. Then came and said, no, this is the person that we can tell you more, but I won't. Anyway, that was so in the real sense, PDP it was envisioned as a party. It is a party. It has its ideological opinions that makes it clear a party. Obasanjo, to his credit, managed the democracy as much as he could, given their own experiences of being afraid of coup and all that. This democracy and even the PDP got destroyed only because, oh God, I hate to mention his name. He who is always constantly ambitious started to introduce the reason for mistrust. When you have become the vice president of the country and the person in charge has given you all of the support, all of the powers, all of the authorities to do what you can't do as vice president, while he crisscrossed the world looking for how to get us out of debt and how to stabilize the country, how to make us get us out of a pariah status, it is to a great regret that somehow they began to interpret that they had more capability than they really had, and boastfully said to their leader, who is Obasanjo, via where they were planning and scheming, "Oh, I have everything in my pocket. Nothing can stop me." Let me
the viewer is listening to
yes.
What I'm asking you, can I interpret? In other words, the knife that began tearing PDP was Atiku Abubakar.
Well, you have mentioned his name. I can
let the viewer be clear.
Listen. There's something called picture perfect descriptive narrative. When you do a picture perfect description, it is for the people to know who the garments fits. So they now started a situation, you get the point. They now started a situation where obviously the president then must now show that he is an expert in the management of men and resources and material in good time and in lean time. Now came up with the business of removing Adu. Had to bring what you now call consensus project as a way of making the National Assembly, at least be a little bit able to do some things and also be maybe more friendly. All of that would not have happened if we had just allowed the business of succession and planning and working together and inordinate ambition to be checked. That then created the fault lines, the first line of fault lines of an Obasanjo trying to install a successor alone, probably with the help of one or two people. That then created the business of everybody now thinking that it is their duty or their right in a democracy to be governor and be insisting that they are going to single-handedly try to install somebody, and then they are going to try to do it never minding the common sense of it or not. That then created the problem of them not trusting themselves. That then created the problem of us not having a situation where vice presidents can enjoy the job without unnecessary suspicion. That was how the party got destroyed. Lo and behold, then they left. Then they joined other people. It didn't matter to them that their ideology and opinions are different. They joined. Then they came back. Then they joined. Then they came back. Then in one fit of anger, looking and probably feeling frustrated with the whole thing, the one who is their ultimate alter ego, the first person to show that the People's Democratic Party of Nigeria is a party that's for all Nigeria, tore his card and wrenched the wall of Jerusalem, and we have been struggling since then. And in 2015, what to them? I had the courage of telling them, wait, we need to build it from the scratch again, for this is a pampered party. You people got help for the military to come in charge. You never learned the act of contributing and sacrificing. Then Obasanjo became in charge. He helped you from the office of the president. You know that federal might nonsense. You never got the habit of fighting. Then you got out of power. Jonathan supported you. Jonathan ran his re-election at an obscenely expensive rate because you had now become an excessively money-guzzling party that doesn't even know what to do with the money, even when they have been giving them the money to do the work. Then you were lucky to get an article who came back. Then you are here now. Tell me, if you have been vice president twice and vice president twice, presidential candidate twice, how does it become your fancy game not to fix your house but run around chasing what is probably not even going to happen? So bottom line is, and I kept shouting, greater men than you have founded party. The likes of Alex Ekweme are greater men than you. The likes of Awolowo are greater men than you. Azikwe and Kwankwo, greater men than you. Tafawa Balewa, greater men than you. Wabaka and Aminu Kano, greater men than you. Waziri Ibrahim, greater men than you. J.S. Taka, greater men than you. Where are their parties? If greater men than you can create parties that can go under, is it you, this bunch of people, that will now be surprised that
let us look at
that you have no capacity?
Let us look at the forces as at present.
All right, fire. I'm giving you the best.
I want to get.
I'm giving you the best.
I want to go back.
Okay.
A little bit. In the primaries that produced Atiku Abubakar.
Which of them? There are two primaries: the 2019 or the 2023?
The 2023.
Okay.
Wike contested.
Yes.
Wike lost.
Yes.
He had been angry over two things.
Which and which?
One, he said that primary did not respect the constitution of the party in choosing its presidency. introducing its candidate, and it grounds that there is an understanding of a north-south rotation.
Yes.
And therefore, Atiku Abubakar should not have been given the ticket just after Buhari won election.
With due respect,
Thank you.
nobody was given the tickets. The challenge of zoning, and even the idea of zoning in a pre-election situation, is that once the party decides that it's going to sell forms to all and sundry, like they have always done, probably to raise money, then they have to deal with primaries. And when it gets to primaries, all of you will be given access to the delegates. You know where they are, you know who they are. You will do your best to reach them and stimulate them to your side, but never estimate the real deal of what can happen in democracy. One of the drawbacks, or if you like, the strength of democracy, is that once the people have to vote, their votes will be counted, and the best man may not win. But so when they counted it, what could we have done? What could they have done? Could they have done an open primary in front of the lights? Everybody addressed the people. Then one person, they counted the vote, it was more on your side than me. Were they supposed to now cancel it? Exactly. So bottom line is, democracy is not pretty. The parties themselves have a duty, having learned from the crisis they got from that, to ensure that they don't even give room for that nonsense. And the reason why they give room for it is because the biggest income source for them is tickets. So sometimes they want everybody to come and chip in and buy tickets, and they want as many people to buy tickets, even though sometimes they already know who and where they would rather go. The parties, the lack of ability for political parties to be creative and enough to understand that you can't fund an organization like a political party only on the basis of selling form. Criminals can get the money to come and buy the form. Would they happily allow criminal element to lead our country, or even lead states, or even local government, or represent us in the Senate? Look at us. We have enough human resource in this country. We have become a sorry version of the expectation of our previous fathers and grandfathers, who may have thought that now that our duty is to create the future, what we are creating is chaos. So I understand. Weakest grouse, he ought to have been, with due respect to him, his grouse, and what he ought to have done was to have challenged the reason why Tambua was given a second bite at addressing those people and halted it there. That would have been corrected. But I guess, as tough as Wike is, there's still a soft side to him too. He must have thought, okay, let's go. And he did. Now,
Of the damage.
No. Please, for anybody who likes to act, must also respect the fact that you are not going to be totally in control of how the other man will react. If I slap you, I wouldn't do that. You're older than me. I may say, Daddy, I'm sorry, or Uncle, I'm sorry, and you may let it go. But you may not. I can estimate my own action. How will I estimate yours? Anybody blaming Wike for his actions and his reaction is just being naive.
Let me ask you to please, is there a provision in the PDP constitution for zoning?
Absolutely.
There is.
In fact, it's not just that there is. The directive principle that created the idea of zoning is the central theme of why the People's Democratic Party of Nigeria was a pan-Nigerian party. After Obasanjo finished, when Obasanjo was going to be president, when he had won, he defeated Alex Ekweme in the primary, just remember? It was the party leaders who ought to pick the vice. Somehow, someone who had already won his governorship was now picked at vice. That even on its own created some problem, because too many of the people who are Atiku seniors, people like Chiroma, people like Rimi, and co, I can't list all of them, who could have, people like Bamanga Tuko, people like Jubil Aminu of blessed memory, who could have been an exact vice or probably a near match were dropped for someone who had won governorship. And then, rather than see it as God's elevation, they interpreted it to mean the right for ambition every season. And that concept of zoning got destroyed, because until then, Obasanjo did the 8 years. He had the sense and the presence of mind to hand it over to Yar'Adua, who unfortunately died. The constitution does not assume that if somebody dies, the country will not continue. That gave it to Jonathan, who finished the Yar'Adua term and did that extra 1 term of his own. And then there was expectation that it would flip. All that was required for the Atiku and PDP people and all these people that have destroyed our party was to just tolerate that 1 extra term. Because if Jonathan had been helped to finish that his 1 extra term, which he thought was his own legitimate term, as against the term he completed of Yar'Adua, who died, what would have been the result? They would have flipped it back to the north, and probably men like who would have been president. So bottom line is that in life we must learn to accept what God will not do. And we shouldn't begrudge God Almighty. If we believe in the books and the prophet, we shouldn't begrudge God Almighty having given us so many other things. Favors like good health, favors like children, favors like vice president, favors like money, favors like, even acceptability and some love around, and escape from things that ordinarily should have perished you. We must be able to wait. And we cannot create a narrative style in the country, especially when we know what type of country we are. I have always said, 3 brothers got the article of independence. A Yoruba man, if you like, Obasman Awolowo, an Igbo man, Nnamdi Azikiwe, and Tafawa Balewa, or another combine them. Other people are there, but these are the key. We only have 3 regions. If you see me sometimes get angry with the way the obedience are behaving, it's because I don't want them to destroy everything. I have not been comfortable with the idea that the 2 brothers or the children of the 2 brothers can be president anytime they wish, and the world will rally around them, and then the 3rd leg will be struggling. I've not been comfortable, and I've gone out of my way. I've done great things to try to stimulate the guys. Take it easy. I know you are hot. Let's drop the civil war. Let's become a little bit more acceptable. Because you know the funny thing is, you are from a polygamous home. One person's mother has 3 children. One person's mother has 3 children. Your mother has only you. If you are going to get support to lead when it is your turn, no matter how much they are, you have to take it easy, because otherwise they can always combine their numbers to keep eliminating you, and it will not be tenable over time. What are we going to tell your children? What will my children tell your own children? Are they going to tell them that the glass ceiling that came there because of civil war is going to retain forever? So our leaders or our misleaders are just people who don't avert their mind to thinking on behalf of what is going to be better for this country. They're just selfish and unduly ambitious. There is no evidence that they even understand the directive principle of managing development to bring about transformational powers than they are even claiming. So it's almost like the similitude of a grandfather. His son knows him better than the grandchildren, but the grandchildren are always puppy-eyed. In their mind, their grandfather is the best, but they don't want to listen to their father, thinking that because every time they go to their grandfather, they think that they didn't know that their grandfather was not all that a good man in the early days.
Okay, their grandfather was not that a good man in the early days. This is Signature Morning. This morning, we take a short break. I'm sure you're having a good time. Take a short break and return. We have yet to answer the question, will this crisis never be solved? Stay with us.
How are you finding this?
Well, we're here in the studio with Otunba Segun Showunmi, PDP strategist and the alternative convener.
I prefer to be called thought leader and national strategist.
Top leader?
Thought leader.
Okay, thought leader and national strategist.
Yes.
I think I want to agree with him.
Yes.
He's thinking for all of us. But, Otunba.
Yes, sir.
I said there are 3 tripods pulling at PDP.
Which and which?
The Wike factor, the Atiku factor, and suddenly a few months ago, a 3rd factor was introduced.
Which is?
The Makinde factor.
Oh God. You know, one of the reasons why society must punish misdemeanors is because of what you call a copycat crime. A misdemeanor comes, you pamper it and let it go. What you are going to build is more of that. In the first instance, by what magic is Makinde even qualified to be saying he wants to be a factor in PDP? When did he even join the party? Come on. Makinde, Governor Makinde, to his credit, to respect to him, only became a personality in our party before the primaries that was going to make him governor. Mulika Konde and co, leader of the house, were the ones who brought him to our party. Did he not contest in another party before? You will compare Makinde with Wike. How? Wike has been here forever. I know it's complicated situation now. But the fact is that Wike knows where we buried the skeleton of everything in this party from get-go. Me and Wike can talk. We have been in this party from get-go. Makinde is just new and is a bit naive. It is impossible for anybody who is a right-thinking Nigerian to conceive the idea that when a Bola Tinubu Yoruba man is just about trying to even survive his first 4 years, the Yorubas can, in an idiotic manner, be suggesting the idea that other tribes, 5 of the other zones, will agree that they should come and take a fresh mandate. So they can now be contemplating, oh, I will do 1 term. Then when it is the end of that 1 term, you start giving the country problem again. You want to do 2 terms. Is anybody in this country truly going to allow the Yorubas to do 12 years? They've done Obasanjo 8 years. They've done vice president 8 years. They've even done the one speaker and some other positions. What about the Igbos? What about the people of North Central? So, is whatever it is that he says he's doing, he's going to fail. Reason being, when he was entering to, before he will enter a 2nd term, I had gone to him. He's alive. I met him in Odo. I said, sir, she is about my mate. I said, sir, excellency, PDP does not have anything that looks like you again in the Southwest. All the ones that resembled you have left. Please, you have to do so well. So you will be the basis by which we'll be marketing the party, because everything, you tick the boxes. You tick the boxes on looks, you tick the boxes on qualification, you tick the boxes
on performance.
You have just started. Please perform. So we'll use you to market. To his credit, he has outperformed. But when he wanted to get into the crisis of 2020, I ran to him again. I said, sir, this G5 or what they call it, said 4 of them are going. You are going to still have 1 more term. Can you just take it easy? Take it easy, because if you blow up everything and make everybody think that you are an issue, by the time they all go, you won't be able to repair it. And when they tell us, assuming they tell us, oh, PDP, go and bring candidate from the South, who will we bring? When you would have made it, did he listen? Okay, now what's going on there? Makinde believes in his mind, because he's naive about the history of the country. He's naive to think that the Indigbos, the Southeast, are a people that somebody from outside the Southeast can dictate to. He's naive, because if he's not naive, he would have known that he can't sit in the Southwest and be attempting to manipulate the decision of the Southeast. However, he's using cronies. It is the right of that area to determine the directive principle of their area. It is the right of our own people, the Yoruba people, to direct the directive principle of our area. It's the right of the Hausa to do the same. When you start to take your hand and start trying to manipulate them, this is what you cause. In any case, when himself, Makinde and all of them, and Wike and all of them were putting together this last NWC, what were they thinking? Okay, they've done what they've done now. Everybody is trying to now own his own star there. And I begged them. I went to the side A, I begged them, NWC, please, don't split yourself. Be wrong together. Let us be abusing you from outside, but be together. Be right together. Let us be praising you from outside. But what you cannot do for us is to have 4 of you here, 6 of you there, and then you will destroy it. Have I not been proven to be a prophet now? What are they doing? They went to court. They wanted to remove a man whom their constitution have allowed to enjoy privileges. The constitution of the PDP says you may resign. It didn't say you shall. They let it go. They had an opportunity of a zoning which they could have zoned him out or not cleared him. They let it go. Then he went to contest the election, raised them a letter sabbatical, came back, and then you start to run around trying to do what does not exist. Okay, you went all the way to court, all the way to court, all the way to court, all the way to court. The Supreme Court told you, oh, you people overburden us with your matter, it's your internal affairs. Go and take care of it. But the prayers and the relief sought by Samuel Nemekayahu succeeds. If they say your relief succeeds, to know the interpretation of judgment, then you have to go back and see what were the relief is sought. Simple relief. I want to be chairman, nobody should disturb me. Secretary, let me finish my tenure. We have been counseling them. There's no big deal. Let's tolerate this, the entire NWC, to just finish their uninspiring tenure and carry themselves and go. And then you will now haven't learned from the problem of the last one. You can then get a fit for purpose NWC just so that the party can survive. And I've been screaming, and of course I'm done screaming. I wasn't going to answer anybody, but I owe you very high esteem, and so I have to come. I've been saying to them, political parties must not be assuming that the only thing that will happen when they go for election is win. A political party must be designed in such a way that if it wins, it can form government and run government well. If it doesn't win, it can do opposition and be opposition well. You can't run a political party on an assumption that you are going to go underwater, hold your breath, swim for 100 meters and come out when the place is a marathon. So what you see happening to the party, which I pray, I truly pray, the APC too, they don't fall into that trap, is that everybody wants a party in their own image. If it does not resemble you, wear red cap and all that, it's not good enough for you. They claim they are looking for yes men. Yes men are usually very unintelligent. They have no sense of what is the history. They have no sense of what is dangerous. They have no sense of what is inappropriate. Tell me, where in the world would you have a national chairman, acting or not acting, a national secretary on one side in an organization, and a blooming publicity secretary will be using the opportunity of having access to the media to be writing counter orders? Where is that done? Remove it from being a political party, take it to a bank. The chairman of the board of a bank has spoken. The MD, who is like the organizing secretary of the, has spoken. Then one director of communication goes to the media and says, oh, we are doing different. That's not how this thing works. Imagine if the president of America was to speak, and then his spokesperson runs to the media and says completely opposite of what is. So you see, my brother, my leader, let me call you that because you are my leader. Do you know why now the alternative makes sense? Because you begin to answer, ask, is it that we don't even know how to organize anything here? Is it that nothing moves us? Is it that we're so irresponsible? We don't even know the limitation of madness? Okay, I agree. Let us say we don't change it. We don't change our attitude. What then do you want to do with allowing tribalism to creep into it? Okay, if that begins to go on unattended without people begging and pleading and begging, how do you know when it will become pope? Or did they tell you that the former president of Egypt, now late, Mubarak, did they tell you that Mubarak was such a weak leader? Or did they tell you that Mubarak sat down there and waited for Arab Spring? Do you know how old that civilization is? Do you know how grounded their deep state assets are? Yet, where are they today? So, sir, I had even told myself, Segun, why are you even bothering so much? But I think every human being, something in life seizes your heart. It's like a painter, he's painting, nobody has bought, he's still painting. Or a sculptor, he's sculpting, nobody has bought, he's still sculpting. I'm just willing us to be better because I know we can be. We have the human resources. We have the natural resources. We have the people. And I don't believe that the first thing you want to do every time you say it has to be you. I don't believe in that. I believe, truly I believe, that if you think you have an ambition, it is your right to bring the ambition forward. The campaign and the conversation around the ambition is your right to bring. But don't begrudge society if they don't send you on a difficult job. because the job is even difficult as it is. So if society does not send you on that job, why have they done you? They've not done you injury. They only chose the one they prefer. In fact, you should actually be smiling, not going up and down the way your brother Peter will be shaming the country non-stop. You should just be happy with them at all. I offered myself. People say you don't want. I'm here, or I'm eating my odechi, or I'm eating my ngobi, or I'm eating. So when they now see the difference, you are young. They see the difference with what you are saying and the nonsense they are doing. Nobody will tell them when they come and beg you. But you cannot say, knowing what our country is. You can't be instigating young people to be abusing everybody. People will have to start to do a pushback. Nobody is going to suffer fools for you. And when you put the numbers together, you are not going to get the numbers you are looking for, because those numbers don't exist. No part can get power by themselves, not the north, not the south, not the east. Some level of collaboration. How do you explain, you Peter, how do you explain that if you are studying your ABGA, what you are doing today, you would have seen me able to do it. Nothing would have stopped you from doing it. After a while, it was a no party you used. You didn't stay. If you are studying your PDP, worst case scenario, you will either be vice president or they will tell you, they'll be building the party around you. You didn't stay. If you are staying in your Labour Party, why must everybody be a problem except you? And I always say, look, when you think you are the solution, sometimes look again and say, am I the problem? So even if you don't want to quickly admit that you are the problem, you can tame it down a bit. Everything considered on the table. This nation is a great nation. And these old men who have converted our country to what they've converted into must understand Nigeria survived, never mind that I will always dead. Nigeria is still standing, never mind that Luke is there. Who are you? Paul we know, Peter we know. Who are thou? Who are thou? Who are your parents? Where did you come from? Who knows you? How many books have you read? What, apart from money, what do you want? What substance do you carry? What fire is in your spirit? What great energy have you put into Nigeria when nobody is looking? Don't be too, and I've recommended, we need to start punishing office holders. Not because we hate them, but just to discourage everybody from coming there. People who get into office and become thieves, steal the country blind, rob us by our treasury rulers will sit down there, be giving them a sort of fancy title. How do you want this society to be? And we are the greatest black nation in the world, most populous. Our sons, our daughters are doing fantastically well everywhere in the world. Why would they not do well in their country? And the flip side, my brother, is that if you look at the world now, every nation is becoming more nationalistic. Yeah. America is closing its door to everybody who wants to. Everybody. So, okay, if they are becoming nationalistic, what's going to happen to us? Is that not where we used to run to for escape? What if they close the door? If they are closing the door on themselves, America is closing the door on Mexico, closing the door on Canada, closing the door on even Europeans. Do you know how different we look from them? How many seconds will it take them to just slam the door on our own faces? We have our country to build.
We have our country to build, Otunba. Is there a fifth columnist in the PDP crisis?
You know, sir, with due respect, I will tell people, never mind the plan of your bully, assuming there's one. Work on yourself. Anybody can try to manipulate anybody. But if you see a political party like a family, how much can anybody pay you or bribe you to tell you to go and kill all the members of your family? Will you agree? You will not. So if you deepen it, if you sustain it, if you reform it, if it becomes like a family to you, why would you even agree? So the fact that I don't have the time to be speculating, there's a fifth column here, somebody is bribing them, they blame everybody but themselves. Have you not observed them? They blame everybody but themselves. The president, yes. Is it his responsibility to come help you fix your party? Or the country will not have laws, or laws will not be applied when you go to court. Instead of you to get good lawyers, you bring your lawyer that are talking nonsense all over the place. You take them to court. They will be defeated by lawyers that are sounder. You will come and say the judiciary has hurt you. What about the day the judiciary helped you? You see, we need massive reorientation if this thing is to work. I've gone to all the zones. I went to North Central. I begged them. I went to Northeast, I begged them. I went to Northwest Kano, I begged them. I went to South, even when nobody was looking, I begged them. I said, oh, South, your son Wike is already your son. There's nothing we can do about it. His name is renowned. Your other son, Fubara, is here. Why are you people increasing the tension between them? Can't you just reduce it? Leaders, elders, it's not your duty to be instigating them against themselves. But did he send me on the errand? I begged them. I went to the Southeast, Imo. I gave my most passionate plea, charging in the Igbos, begging them, oh, children of the men who believe in land, it is sacrilegious to be killing Igbos in Igbo land with Igbo hand. Please stop it. Oh, Igbo, do you even know yourself? Take it easy. Forget this nonsense civil war. It's past. Let us come and build a new Nigeria. I believe that if an Igbo person that is accepted Nigeria becomes president, this country will unleash significant energy. Please, let us. Hey, I even said I apologize for Awolowo. Like I'm the one who sent him on an errand. And I said, don't carry this burden to your children. Look, my brother, you know how I'm feeling now? I want to do one more town hall in Abeokuta. When I'm done with that town, I'll just say, you guys can roast if you want your business. Because you don't even get appreciated. They sit down in their corner, they're giving him money, Wike is giving him money. Which Wike is giving him money? The fact that I tell you that Wike is right on this occasion does not mean that I will not tell you when Wike is wrong. Wike himself knows that. I'm not that way inclined. Oh, I took a picture of the president. Okay, yes. I went to visit the president. I took one picture. Everybody's going grag, grow, insulting themselves as if I'm like beholden to their father or mother. I'm like, listen, I'm even a good man, not to be as tribal as they are. They are so tribal. The only person they see is their tribe men. We, men like me, even have courage to call out my own tribe man. When I shouted the president, put out his cabinet, I was ballistic that you can't give the Igbos 5 and give others more. Are you saying that there's only 5 you can give them that is statutory? Hey, did the Igbos call me? Did the Igbos say thank you? Do you know the kind of backlash I got from Yoruba people, their kings, and everything? I said, well, that's me. You have to ensure that the country is united. Everybody must feel a sense of belonging. I didn't just write it. I paid, I wrote, I screamed, I spoke. I stood there for them. I even have an Igbo name.
I'll get to maybe at the end of this program.
Okay.
I'll sign off by introducing yourself.
I will.
With your Igbo name.
I will tell you.
But let me please, we don't just raise all these problems. And do you think, and how do you think it will be done, that PDP can be saved from this crisis?
First things first, it has to. It's like a viral disease. Anybody who knows anything about medicine and the epidemiology of medicine will tell you that sometimes you have to let the virus run its course. When it runs its course, you will look. If it has not damaged all the organs in the body of the human being, you will continue and then treat him, and he will have some herd immunity, and then maybe he will live. And if that damage everything, you bury the carcass. If humans can die, what about organization? A human being, you can die. What is organization? Especially in the midst of these extremely selfish people who don't have the ability to understand what the seasons are. I started screaming, go and drive Peter back, go and drive it back. They think I was trying to do just Peter a favor. I was trying to tell them his energy and the energy of the people following him may help you to step over it. Did they listen? It's not abuse I got. Did I not go to the Peter himself and tell him that, look, my friend, you have created these numbers. Some people believe you. We can come together and make it better. All this nonsense you are doing, running around with expired fellows, helping them to be discussing coalition is even irritating to the ears. Are you supposed to not know, you Peter, that it is because of your last outing that suddenly all of them are brave? Why do you want to do that? Would the Nnamdi Azikiwe be alive and say, I will not call him and slap him and say, what do you think you are doing to the Igbos? If they cannot have you, then let them throw everything in the dustbin. Why? You are here now making like Giringori, helping them to be sitting down around one useless table, talking nonsense. Don't everybody in the country know that we run a pendulum? If it goes to the north, it stays for 8 years. If it comes to the south, it stays for 8 years. Why would anybody be arguing that? If it is not my turn, it's not my turn. You think I don't want to be president? Do I look like a fool? Now I saying, I want to be president now? Won't I allow these old men to exhaust themselves and pray to God that when they have exhausted themselves, we can now build our country? Why do you think I created the alternative? That newer people can start thinking about this country in a different way.
Okay. My producer says I should ask you a question.
What is the question?
He just whispered to me.
Yes, what is the question?
And he says, this alternative, can you talk to me about it? What is it all about? Is it going to become a political party eventually?
No, thank you very much. We have about 19 and they have application of 100. I just sat down and I started thinking, okay, Segun, you have begged them in the corner. You have jumped here. What else can you even do as your contribution? And I said, okay, let us start a movement and let us be discussing 4 things. 4. 1, Nigerians, you can't be buying and selling votes. It is against the poor people like us. Because if you buy and sell the vote, it is like the children of the poor will never be anything. Why don't you just vote so that the children of the poor too can even enjoy the benefit of our poverty? Buying vote, I thought it was a great thing. Number 2, Nigerians, we can't run a country that is just unduly tribal. Today, Igbo did this, Yoruba did it, they didn't wear clothes. What kind of nonsense is this? It would destroy our country. Mutual suspicion, eventually something will happen, you will start having xenophobic attack within country. Why do you need all this? If you have a problem, Segun will have a problem with you. If I have a problem with Peter will have a problem with you. You don't have to say, you have Yoruba people, they are this. How often can somebody be abusing the Igbos before it will get somebody angry? How often can you then abuse Yoruba before I will get angry? I'll do the same to Hausa. So I said, let us try and find a way to say, let's be discussing without making it tribal. The third thing I said, Nigerians, you are funny people though. Do you know what it costs to get this democracy? Shall you then have a PVC that you are using only for ID? Do you not know that on the day of election you are meant to come out? What do you consider your own personal responsibility on election day? That we will have 93 million registered votes, 83 or 82 million collected, and on the day of election, only 25 million or they're about to come. Where are the others? You are installing a president with 8.9 million votes. Are you not ashamed? Even the second person, what did he get? 6.9. Even the Peter, what did he get? 6.2. And there are 80-something million. Who told you as a Nigerian citizen that you don't have a duty on election day? That's the turn. And the final one, I said, well, Nigerians, they brought you Obasanjo, you didn't like him. After he left, you started liking him. They brought you Yar'Adua, you didn't like him. When he died, you started liking him. They brought you Jonathan, you didn't like him. After he left, you started liking him. They even brought you Buhari, you didn't like him. After he left, now you are liking him. Now you have Bola Tinubu, you don't like him, you are claiming you don't like him. Then later you start saying you want Bola Tinubu. Okay, enough of this nonsense. Let us all now go and be searching for who we want. Let us collectively, those of you at the grassroots, search for a good councillor. Search for a good House of Assembly. Search for a good rep. Look at what's happening to us in the rep and the Senate. If our National Assembly was vibrant and working, no presidents there take us for a ride. Search for good ones. You want governor? Search for good governorship material. If you want president, bring up the name of the person you want. Let us go and tell the world that we asked you, or this is who you said. My brother, that's what the alternative is about.
Well, the alternative is a movement. A moral movement.
It's a moral movement. So people have been telling me, why don't you go and raise? You people have 18 political parties. Have you done anything with those ones? Why do you think everybody must need a new house? The house your grandfather built, you don't live there. The one your father built, you are not living there. The one you are living, you built, your son will not live there. What's wrong with us? The houses that people build in Europe, that their great-great-grandfather built, their children are still living there. Not in this country. We're just, you see, we need deep reorientation. And I think the federal government, listen, Mr. President, my national honor is due. Because I can bring receipt of things I've done on behalf of the country. I think that this is like a national reorientation movement that one individual chose to carry. Do you know what it cost? I'll fly people there, I'll get the hall, they will want the living of this. Thank you for coming, I'll pay media, I'll gather, I will speak to you in my voice, I'm losing it. Just from saying Nigeria, oh, Federal Republic of Nigeria, you are the greatest nation on earth. Stand up and be great. Stand up and be great. You can be great. I went to Katsina. I begged to say, oh, people of Katsina, my eyes cannot take it. My heart can no longer take it. The way you are killing yourself. Everybody let us do Fatiha and do Surah to Kursiu. Just to beg God to show us the way to end this nonsense. Are you not tired? Am I from Katsina?
Well, Otunba,
Yes.
I want you to play the Ogre if I leave this stage. Look into the seas of time and see which grain will grow and which will not. Will the PDP survive?
You know, very good thing you've asked. It's like a man who went to a great seer, a very great seer. He had in his hand a butterfly. Unbeknownst to him, the butterfly was alive. He held the butterfly in his hand like this, a mote, and said, "Oh, great seer, is this butterfly alive or is this butterfly dead?" Because the man was truly a called one, a territorial commander over a land. He said, you who have asked, it's in your hand. If I tell you it's alive, you will squash it and kill it. If I tell you it's dead, you will leave it to flow. So what will I say? It's in their hands. It's in their hands. All that is required for the PDP to survive is for these people to climb down from their high horse. It's for the leaders of the party today to, I'm talking about the executive authority of the party, Acting Damagua and his friend, Sam Daddy, to assert the full weight of the party's law, start writing suspension letter for people that need to be suspended, straighten up the party. The number of people you need to win an election in a party is just a handful. The vast majority of people that help you to win a party are the Nigerian citizens. Turn it upside down, dump all these big names that will not let you have peace of mind, and go and meet the Nigerian people. Do the research. Bring in a change management expert. There are companies whose jobs is that to come and sit with you, look at your processes, redesign them, justify the reason for the redesign. Be honest and truthful to yourself. If you hurry up to get a candidate that can work, give the election your best push. Lose if you must, win if in the will of Nigerian people. But get your party ready, because even the ANC is over 100 years. The CPC in China is 104 years old. The party, the Republican and Democrats in America, they are more than 198. I tell them, are we Africans not capable of building to last? So you have asked me, will PDP survive? My answer is very simple. It's in their hands.
It's in your hands, he says. Otunba Segun
Okudilichukwu.
Now, the name is out. Otunba Okudilichukwu Segun Showunmi. He's been my guest in the last 1 hour. We began late, but we recovered time. If you're not warm already this morning, or more than being warm, I think we're better educated on the crisis in PDP. The way out, he says, is in the hands of those running the party. For us, we enjoyed our morning. We're more informed, and we hope things work out as he has advised. Otunba, thank you very much for coming.
No, thank you, sir. Thank you. I bow.
And my name remains Mwabojo Njok. Of course, it never changes. My thanks to you for investing your time with us this morning. Let's meet again tomorrow. Good morning.